It is 6:30 on August 1st, 2024. We're going to go ahead and open this special call meeting of the McGregor City Council. We're going to go ahead and call it to order right now. First agenda item is discussion regarding proposed budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. Carolyn, the floor is yours.
We have a new cover, and then we're going into our budget assumptions and notes, the things that you're going to see. We had the preliminary budget includes a 10% increase in health care. I've not received what it's going to be yet, so that may change between now and the next budget you see. Hopefully it won't be any more than that. A 5% COLA has been budgeted for October 1. Our TMRS contribution rate, which is our retirement, has decreased, well, it will decrease in January from $13.75 to $12.96. Our city participating amount of $42,000 has been included for the TxDOT signalization grant. We've been carrying that for several years, but it's finally going to happen. Third year of tornado siren program is included in the capital outlay requests. And the city manager, fleet mechanic, events manager, finance director, and assistant finance director personnel costs are split between funds or allocated between funds. We added in addition to the 5% COLA, we added a market increase of 5%, additional 5% for patrol officers in the police budget. So the patrol will get 10 and the rest of staff will get 5. Increased water and wastewater fees are up 5%, which is to help offset the wholesale rate increases. That's what's in there now. When it goes in effect, we may have to look at that again, but and that should be around January. Okay, and then City of Waco has increased our animal shelter costs. This last year, we had budgeted 58. Their actual turn came in at 65, and now they're increasing it to 100. So it's going up $40,000 there. Our McLennan County Tax Office support has increased by $27,000. 5%. And then your next is just a breakdown of funds, the revenues, and then if we the debt, and then what the net effect is. Which you can see across the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines up where it's revenue or loss. All the funds are budgeted to being revenues equal to, except for court. Court doesn't, we have like jury fund and trans, it's called when they're, I said it all day today. Yeah, and so we don't have costs yet associated, so but we're bringing in revenue, and so that's the reason why it's having a revenue of $220. Next slide is an all-fund. This shows you like what the costs were, and then our budgeted, and it's by look at it, and then the combined revenue showing you the all and where the money. Sales tax is 12%, charge 26%, and so on. You can see the different percentages. The next slide is the expenditures by combined funds, and you'll see that our contracted services are at 20%. Our capital outlay, personnel, of course, is Okay, then the next, what we're really here about to talk about tonight for the most part, and that is our tax rates. Our current tax rate is 0.543591, which you'll see that under current rate to the right, under total. The voter approval tax rate for this next year is 0.530016. But as you'll see, general fund is going down 300,000, and INS, which is your interest in sinking fund, is going up 183,000. But overall, the net effect is a minus $111,000. You also see on an annual increase or decrease based on a $100,000 home, their taxes are going down $13.58. You'll also see at the very bottom our current rate, our no new revenue rate, our voter approval rate, and our de minimis rate. But if you flip to the next page, I have those broken down as well. The no new revenue rate shows that we would lose $848,000 in general fund and gain $183,000 in INS. That's because we have to set the rate at whatever the debt payment is. But overall, we'd lose $665,000. So then the next one is the de minimis rate. And on the de minimis rate, general fund still loses $271,000. INS gains $183,000, but a net effect of a loss of only $88,000. And the annual increase or decrease is $10.74. The next page is our direct and overlapping property tax rates. And so you can see where we are in conjunction with MISD, McLennan County, and McLennan Community College. And then our assessed values are interesting because, as you'll see, this last year our assessed value was $599,861, and this year it's $822,268,660.
$1 billion mark coming up pretty fast.
Yeah, and that's what's making our M&O drop. The next page is our general debt service, where we're paying out $2,070,077. That's broken down by each CO, the principal and interest payments. Then the next slide is all of the debt, not just the ad valorem debt, but all of the debt. And that down for you. Then our next one is general fund, revenue by source. And again, you can see where property taxes are, sales tax, and then some transfers in make up the large part of the budget. And then the expenditures, it's by department, it's police, streets, and then this year it's city council as well as the top one, but that's because we've included some contingency in your budget that you normally don't see. And then the next page, the capital requests for the general fund. And if you'll notice, there's like other equipment and then what's been deferred. The deferred are items that were requested but didn't make it into the budget. And the reason, that's always there for you, but on the next pages are contingencies, and that's where you might want to look at if you're looking, unless you have a special project that you want to do with it or something different. We may look at some of the items so that we can put them in the budget. Sure.
We talked about this page today, and I wanted to make sure we pointed out to you what we did. Change however you want to. But before I went into surgery, we knew the sale was going to be closing on the sale was going to be closing on the property for Project Pure. $9.5 million, is that right? Is that what that now?
2.9.
And so she had already handed me a balance, but things you see on the previous page there. And I told her that I think we should take $1 million of that, put it in the general fund, because you can certainly do that, $1 million of it, and put it into the industrial park fund, which is there for capital needs that would augment things the TERS may or may not do. My initial thought on that was we're going to partner with the school on Bluebonnet. We want to make sure there's enough money to do that right. But also there's 98 acres, 99 acres of land. It's a long, weird triangle down at the bottom of the industrial park that we've had people fiddling with for years. And I think we want to get control of it. And it's for sale right now for $750,000. That might be something we do or partial do. We're doing partnership with the EDC or something like that. But those are things that MIP money could be spent for, the industrial park money. And then the $925,000, about the time this was all coming to fruition, I got the estimates from Jacob Henson on the Bewley Park tennis courts / pickleball courts that we've been talking about for years. And I told Renee we were going to name it the Renee Flores Memorial Pickleball Court. She did not like that, and I meant, oh no, not Memorial, but just kidding. And so I set that aside. The number I think we got from Jacob was less than 100,000.
It's 750, I believe.
But I'm not sure what all that includes. Extra over there we can use. The parks is always needing it. That's kind of where we get money for the parks anyway, stuff that's going on out there. But I want to make sure that we do those right. There's some folks here in town that play quite a bit. I'm going to pick 2 or 3 of them to be on a little committee to sit down with Jacob and make sure that design is what it really needs to be for what we're going to do. I'm kind of excited about that. I guess Jimmy and Paul just missed the boat. They shouldn't have got off any sooner. They wanted their name on it. So we'll name it after Renee and Bonnie and Sherry. But anyway, that's how I've set it up. That's where you get the $700,000 contingency. I propose that we just go ahead and adopt the budget like this or similar to. The thing I don't want you to miss is that we added an extra 5% for patrol officers for market adjustment. I do want to do a police market study to make sure we're in good shape there, but at least that starts us out in better shape. But I don't that much of this continuing expenses. It's a windfall. It needs to be mostly spent on one-time things. As we go through it. I noticed you did not budget any sale of land for the future. That's good. I also noticed you only budgeted $50,000 for SpaceX overtimes, and we'll probably adjust that.
Okay.
I'll probably, because
okay.
The information I have from them is they have budgeted pretty good money for after 9 o'clock.
Well, see, some years it's 150, 200, and then the next year maybe 50, not, you know, so I just
think we can add 50 grand to that, which will help our contingency.
I will.
Too. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure to point that out because that's a windfall, and I want to make sure you knew where that went and why. And if you have disagreement with that, I'm happy to discuss anything you want to do, but that's just kind of my initial thoughts on it. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, well, the next slide, there you can see your contingencies and what they are. We did put $1 million in general fund, but then getting the lower MO rate than what we had anticipated hit us pretty hard. And then also our electricity is going up in February 1. A portion of it is going up 50%, but overall it's a 25% increase. So we went through the budget that we had already provided as a balanced budget and had to add 25% in each department to their electricity cost to make sure we had it covered.
Electrical, which is the system paying for the winter of whatever 2021 was that?
Yeah, we still are adding on charges for that.
That's a universal thing across Texas.
Okay, the next budget is our utility fund. And as you can see, we have that as a balanced budget. administration has 1.6 million, water production is 2.6, utility maintenance is 1, and wastewater is a half, or 4,000. And then the next page on that is their request for capital as well. And really the biggest thing I think to note is we have another 260,000 for the meter swaps. That's continuing on. It looks like we're going to be able maybe to complete that sooner than we thought, but anxious to get that where they can just read it electronically instead of manually. The utility fund category by far is our highest. In proposed, they are proposing for a fee adjustment of $15 per month for the T hangers, not the private hangers. And then the reserves, we're saying 171. That's a project or a grant that we anticipate getting, but if you'll know that it says capital outlay 171, it's the same, and we put money aside for these. It's like a 90-10 grant, and we put money aside in the airport. There's 2 airport funds, and we put it aside just for that type of stuff, so we can pay our 10% when we need to. So that's why we're showing it coming from reserves rather than a transfer, because it's airport. Then in cemetery, we have a $75,000 budget for revenue and expense. And then the last page is your recap of all debt. And so while if you on Fund 78 or the general debt, you'll see $2 million is coming out for ad valorem. This includes all your debt, everything, whether it's coming from utility revenues, and this also includes the TERS. So this has all 3, so it shows our entire debt of $45 million. That's principal and interest. And so really, going back to the tax rates, we have 3 options, which is our no new revenue, our rate, this rate.
On the de minimis rate,
Our de minimis rate is 0.581414. I believe that. Or
3.
it might be because mine is stamped. It's not for viewing, so read it.
It says here 0.532850.
No, the new one. She just sent it late this. Looks like it's 141. I wish we had a light.
But if they did the de minimis rate, they would also have to have the voter.
No.
Interest.
No. There is, huh?
You need the light?
Yeah, it would help. If you go over the 8%, then they can do a voter rollback. Calculated it based off of, it only collects another 421,090. But that keeps you from having the rollback.
But that's significant. That's a significant 8% or less. It does make a difference.
3 cents.
54,
Yep.
591 to 30016.
Yes. That's correct. So, and that is typically what y'all choose as the voter approval rate. And that's what the budget you just saw is based off of. The voter approval, yes, ma'am. That's what I need from y'all. Your direction as to what rate you want me to use, because I have to know the tax office either later tonight or tomorrow, so that then they can start getting ready all the publications that we have to put in the paper. And
Are they going to answer the phone tonight?
no, but I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but I'm still going to email it to her tonight.
Do you have any more questions for Carolyn here or Kevin?
animal shelter cost? The reason why?
It's,
I
it's
can tell
based
you-
on their total budget, oh, sorry.
I
go
can
ahead,
tell you a
Philip.
little more. They had a contract with the
Humane Society.
Humane Society, and Humane Society was not, and it was based on money that the Humane Society put into the deal facility. Societies bailed it and walked away. So
Okay.
you're feeling the full sense of it now where you weren't before.
And the city of only animal shelter
Yep.
that's available?
And as that scene, it's still cheaper than what you can do it yourself and actually run it.
Well, yeah, I'm not proposing that.
Oh, trust me. The previous chief of police that wanted to put cages out there and just throw them in it. James is not that way, but it frustrates him, it frustrates me. But as far as I know, there's no other facility available. Bellmead talked about it for a little while, and once they started looking at numbers, they decided to stay with it, so.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how much it would cost to.
The sad thing is that the state, and this is, but my experience is that the state gives and so I fear that they're fixing to get hit with some pretty stiff stuff. So we may be reanalyzing this time next year for that reason. I've been in contracts both ways. I've eliminated humane societies because they were just a mess. I've brought them on board and they were great, and then they turned into a mess and have been eliminated since. It's a real catch-22 on that. I feel for Waco, I'll tell you that. I'm personal best friends with the guy who put that in place and established it, so I know more about this situation than I probably should. He's retired now, but he's very frustrated with this because it was doing a hell of a job. But private nonprofits, infamous, and that's kind of.
I think they just bought some more land, expanded right there next to it.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with that. My daughter worked for a while because of the politics. She left, and now she's working at Fuzzy Friends. And it's interesting, some of the things she's talking about. They get, now that he's gone, they're getting more donations at Fuzzy Friends, which is a pretty cool thing for them. But it's interesting to me how this all develops. I know my friend is very sad because that was a labor of love for him. He's anyway. And at one point, they were having to foster animals, and I think he had about 8 dogs out of it. But that's the explanation for that.
Carolyn, can you educate me a little bit?
It's based off of your value. They have total values, and it's a percentage. They divide their total budget, which is like 5.5 or 5.7, whatever it was, million, and you get your percentage of the total ad valorem for everybody in schools, and whatever your percentage is of the total is the percentage that you pay of the budget.
Okay.
And because our rates went up, so did our percentage rate.
Big part of what occurred there as well is last year they went through a remodeling operation that was pretty expensive. It expanded within the building. We talked to Bobbitt a lot. He's gone now, but they did it as best they could, but it still went over budget. And, yeah, that's kind of what you're paying for in this deal too. I'll say that, and I'll also say their protest hearings go a lot faster because they have the room to do them right there locally instead of having to move out to area schools, which is what they were doing.
All right, does anybody else have any other questions?
So, could we keep the current tax rate that we have if we didn't want to do the rollback?
You can go up to the de minimis rate. I mean, I'm gonna talk to Charlie, but that's how I'm reading, that's what TML put out. So, I will find that out for sure, but it's, I'm pretty sure that we do the de minimis. You can't go over 8%. So, as long as we're less than 8%, this is, the de minimis rate we gave is not the full 500, so they've calculated it at the 8%. So, yes, I would say that's a definite.
We need to be able to answer that tomorrow.
Okay, I'll call in the morning.
I guess they could, preliminary, is it a preliminary vote tonight or is it?
No, tonight is just, well, tonight is the vote for the tax rate.
It is.
Because I have to turn that in tomorrow to them, but, yeah, you could still,
Well, you can do a double motion.
yes, if it does not, you can do this,
Do this.
Yeah.
Without an election, if not do this.
yes,
So do that.
yeah.
Is that complicated enough, Renee?
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking about our streets but I don't know, everybody else may be thinking, well, I'll take my penny, you know, but,
Here's what I will say. I don't, try not to get into politics. You got a good solid budget with $700,000. What do you need to raise more money for? And I get what you're saying, but this is kind of one of those things where the industrial park was paid off for you this year. And adopting this budget with that contingency and still giving any tax rate, not a bad idea.
then let's do it. Then, okay, you convinced me.
Yeah, it's the rollback amount right now, right? That's what we're looking at?
The voter approval rate is, it was formerly called the
Oh,
rollback rate.
yeah, I had questions.
We're not quite there yet.
So, and then I know, like, last year, we, voted for a fire truck. Have we received that fire truck yet?
You paid for it, can't hear you yet.
Okay.
That's Andrew's fault, so jump on him. No, not
No,
Mr.
him, yeah.
Mr. Henderson's fault. It's that Andrew out there.
Yeah, no, well, I know it was gonna take like a year or so, so I was just curious, on that one, sorry.
No, you're fine. What TML says, if the city with a population of less than 30,000 adopts a tax rate that exceeds the greater of the city's voter approval tax rate or the de minimis tax rate, the city council must order an election.
There you go.
So,
That answers that.
both of those.
Well, but you still have to do the election. No?
Mhm.
I'd go with voter approval. Question. Andrew, when's the truck coming? When's the truck coming?
Fire truck, September.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome, so right around the corner.
We have to send a contingency to go final approval, and then Sid Martin, based out of Dallas, who we ordered the truck from, will handle delivery to Texas, and then firefighters from here may go to Texas, or to Dallas to pick up. We don't have to drive it from Wisconsin.
When's Founder's
Oh,
Day?
shucks. I was planning on going on that trip.
So you're saying it's gonna be here by Founder's Day?
What they say here, if a city with a population of less than 30 adopts a tax rate that exceeds the voter approval rate but not the de minimis rate, it is possible, depending on the facts, that the voters would be required to petition for a tax approval election instead of the city being required to hold an automatic election. So they could petition. I just want to not misstate anything.
Okay, well, Carolyn, thank you for presenting us a balanced budget. We'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 3, discussion and possible action regarding approval of a proposed fiscal year 2024-2025 tax rate to report to the McLennan County Property Tax Department for publication and notification of public hearings if required. All right. Shouldn't have sat down.
I know, I had another question too. Sorry.
Maybe give me exercise.
So in here, we have some requests, and then I've noticed, there's, is it a Nissan Xterra that somebody drives? A
Right here?
Nissan, like, Pathfinder? Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, thank y'all. So I was gonna make sure that we had that in the budget because.
Tell you the story
Yes.
on that.
Okay.
That was actually purchased military surplus and used for the ladies who used to come. We had to provide them transportation to and from.
Oh, that's the Armada.
For the prison, the old Armada, and that's what that was used for a long time, and since then, it's just been.
And Barry drove it.
Yes, yes.
Barry is out of it.
And Barry complained, and complained, and complained, and we got tired of Barry complaining, so we sold it, and then it didn't give him anything.
Okay, well, like I said, I was just wondering, because I was looking in here, because I knew it was berries, and I was
Yeah,
looking
it's on
to
our,
see.
on our auction list.
Okay, because, yes, I'm sorry, I
There
felt
you go.
Barry's pain
I-
in that.
Being that Renee
Okay.
brought that up, are we gonna sell the pickup that Sam drove for so long? That thing's about wore out too.
We have two F-150s that I'm sure is one of them. Yeah.
What model year is that?
An 8? Oh,
It's a 1998. It's been here longer than me by far.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we're selling this year.
What's the brush truck? What was off the other brush truck that we got?
truck?
The one, you know,
The grapple
Picker.
truck?
We just,
so, I mean, what is it? Is it something that can be fixed for like a backup or what?
I think it's gone, isn't it?
No, we did sell one, but we still have one as well.
Is
A
one
current
still
one.
on it?
The new one is, still have the other one?
Grapples had a few repairs this
So
last
it
year,
is,
but
so we've got it set up as a backup?
no, we just have one.
We're planning on auctioning that, it just needs too much.
Chad, sitting in the sun, would you come over here, please? It blinds me to look at you more than usual.
And probably need to get to the mic because of recording. It won't pick up.
You just
I'll
thought you
share
got to sit on the back row.
It needs a lot of work. I mean, bottom line, there's a lot of issues with it. So where do you stop? I mean,
We're gonna
it's,
sell it, or we're gonna keep
we're
it?
planning on auctioning
Okay,
it.
good. That's what the man asked.
So what,
Okay.
so that's what I'm saying though, but my question, well, I'm trying to find out, cause what I'm saying, if it is something that can be fixed and have it for a backup, because we already have enough problem where we're not picking up, getting behind on the brush. So if that would break down, the one that we got, you know what I'm saying, then where are you?
Well,
Cause they do pretty good with that, the new one that we got,
We behind?
so.
no, we're not now. I mean, we have had some issues where
Oh, no,
we got
I'm saying,
we
I wasn't saying now, just, I was
Yeah.
thinking, if I saw that sitting over there, and I was wondering if it was fixing to have for.
I think it's a money pit at this point.
Good, so I just.
Thank you, sir. I hate that I had to make it literally. Sorry, I kept looking over and couldn't see anything. I heard her voice, but I couldn't see. And it wasn't you, it was the windshield. That's Bonnie's fault.
And then without the, or not without, but with us fixing, Johnson Drive, is all of our COVID money now used, or do we still have some?
Our ARPA money,
Yeah, it took all of it for that, plus some.
Okay.
because that was general fund and Johnson Drive, so yes.
I was planning on partnering Blue Bonnet, basically do the same kind of 3-lane on it. We'll probably have to be a partner in that somewhat, and then we'll also take it to the gate at SpaceX and get Blue Bonnet back in shape. Judith intersection is coming. We're about to have some conversations with the county about phase 2 of Judith is twice as long as phase 1, so we'll we'll see where that goes. But that money's turd money. Plus, we'll have $1 million sitting in that fund just in case, the industrial park fund.
I think those are all my questions.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? And we're all clear on the tax rates and what that means to the budget? All right. If you would, please.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the total approval tax rate rollback of 0.530006.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the voter approval tax rate of 0.530016. Is there any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Founder's Day is the 21st of September. I just looked it up. I don't know why I didn't know that already.
Well, we need to make sure that that truck is here by the 21st.
There you go.
If it's here, we'll put it in the break.
All right, we're going to go ahead and announce that we will be holding a public hearing on the tax rate and public hearing on proposed fiscal years 2024, 2025 budget on August the 14th, and the final adoption of the budget and the tax rate on August the 15th.
Is one of those meetings gonna be our regular meeting night?
Yes.
The 14th is our regular.
Good. I was just trying to plan my days.
All right, do we have any announcements from the city manager?
Not a thing. The announcement you have for me is, I am tickled to death with this budget. That land sale came in exactly on time, and I think this is gonna be kind of a shed water year for this community, because you're beginning to see the real value of that out there. This was a sale, but Knopf's not on the tax rolls yet, really. Project Pier will be coming out of the ground, your rail will be coming across there. I think you're gonna look back at 2024, 2025 as a really big year. Just my opinion. And thank y'all very much.
Do we have any requests or comments from the council?
No, where the city at, where is on the repairing the deal for the senior citizen? The air conditioning.
I think the EDC said that they would match what the Legion.
What the Legion did?
Yeah, I'm aware of that part, I was part of that, I already know
There you
about that.
go.
That's all I was asking about the other